Welcome, everyone, to more new content presented by the Comic Underground. We're pulling back the curtain on the sellers you see at their wall each month. We want you to get to know the sellers on the Comic Underground along with us. How did they get here? What do they collect? And why should you be watching their claim sales? I'm Kyle, and this is CU Legends. Let's get into it. This is our second episode with Gold Standard Collectibles. Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Kyle? How's it going? How are you?
It's going great, dude. Going great. So why don't you first introduce yourself and we'll get into it.
So, guys, my name is Andrew. I go by the Instagram handle Gold Standard Collectibles. I'm from Yonkers, New York, just a pretty decent sized suburb, right outside New York City, but not quite New York City.
Yeah, we're excited because we're probably going to get to see each other in a couple of weeks at the Elite Expo. So looking forward to that. Meeting a bunch of you. Both of us will be there. So hopefully we see some of the rest of you guys out there. But thanks for being a spotlight with us. We're calling this CU Legends. I have a couple questions for you, but feel free to take this, wherever you want, whatever comes to mind. Our first question is called First Appearance. So first appearance is pretty straightforward. How did you end up getting on the Comic Underground? Like, how did we all become acquainted?
So, I actually had to reach out to him to corroborate my story.
Yeah.
So it was actually through Danny, DK Knight. And, I've been chatting with him for a couple years. I think I sold him a book on eBay, or he wanted to buy a book on eBay. He found my Instagram. I sold him the book through Instagram, and then we just started kind of like buying and selling books from each other, and we became pretty good friends. We talk almost every single day. And, he saw what I was trying to do selling wise. And he's like, you should try, he's like, I know you're not, he's just being honest. I know you're not an elite guy, or like some of these other bigger names, which is fine because I don't, I only carry so many books. He's
Right.
like, check out Comic Underground. Like they're really cool. They're really easygoing. I think it'll fit your vibe. So yeah, I got hooked up by Danny, and he got hooked. I think he learned about it from Joey.
Yeah. So what's funny is when we started, I met Danny, and Danny was like one of the first people kind of beating the drum for the underground back almost 2 years ago. And he hit me up. Yeah. And he sent me your profile, and he's like, I think this kid would be good on your show. And I'm like, okay, cool. Has he ever done it before? And he's like, no. And I said, why do you think he'd be so good? And he said, just go look at his page. And it was like so professional, right? And it's the same stuff you still do. It's so simple. And it reminds me, Aaron does it too. A1. It's the book, and it's on your table. And it's just well lit, and it's just good, solid pictures. And it's here's the book, and you know your stuff. And he said, he's never done it before, so start him out with like a 90-minute show. And honestly, we've kind of stuck to it. We kind of got like a little 90-minute flow down pat.
That's 90 minutes is perfect for me. And I'm so glad he and I guess you two noticed too, because I do try to, like, if I have a picture to take or a post to make, it's like I don't just do it. It has to be a certain time of day. It has to be natural lighting. And at first I would just take it in this little office here. This is the Gold Standard Cave, the Gold Standard HQ. But this the lighting, the tree block in the window. So like, I'm glad you noticed the pictures. So because I definitely tried to take clear pictures.
Oh, they're great because I do the same thing and that's why I post so infrequently, because it has to be. My son has found the right spot on the dining room table if the windows are open in the afternoon, and I'm like, okay,
You get it.
And I remember, I've actually talked to Danny and Lexi. How do I take better pictures? Like, why are y'all so clear? And they're like, dude, are you doing it at night? I'm like, well, yeah, it's when I get home. I'm like, nah, wait till Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm like, perfect. All
Yeah.
right. So
and portrait mode helps.
I didn't even try portrait mode. That seems like a rookie move.
We'll talk about it later. We're gonna set up a CU picture taking comic taking picture class.
So we need we need a grading class for sure. We need a comic book photo class, and I want to do a grading thing. I think Joey would do it. I want to do a grading thing where we all grade like comics and then send them in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be fun.
That'd be fun. It'd be a fun experiment.
Yeah. All right. Our next question is called Origin Story. An origin story is very simple. It's just tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you when you're not slinging comic books?
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I told you guys that my name is Andrew. When I'm not slinging comic books, I'm a career fireman. So been doing that for almost 9 years. Even though it feels like 9 months, I feel like I just started. Um, I went to college. I went to business college, business school in the city, Baruch School of Business, which is a pretty good business school. And it was so cutthroat. I don't like when I graduated. I was like, I don't know if I wanted to do that. I don't know if I want to work in the city for an investment bank or for a marketing company. I was like, I don't know that that's me, even though I do like business. So the fire test in my city came up, and it's very competitive because it's a pretty good job, and took it, and the rest is history. And yeah, and I'm married. I'm expecting my first kid in less than a month, so like just about 3 weeks. Um, and yeah, and I guess that's pretty much it. And just selling comics kind of does scratch the itch for business, which I studied and I did enjoy. But I get to kind of do it on my terms. I get to do something that I love to do. And it's
Right.
also pick up and put down. Like it's not a it's not my career. If I want to take a break
Yeah.
for a month, I just focus on collecting or picking up inventory, and then have a show and sell.
I love that. That makes total sense now because you are more meticulous than most people about like your pricing and your collection and how you run a show, and that makes sense now. Because there's a few people that work with us who like know the price of every single book, how much they paid for every single book, how long they've had the book. You would think there would be a whole lot of people, but with a lot of people, it's just they have so much
Yeah,
that it's just they just draw out what they think they can move that night and
yeah,
put on a great show. But there's some of you guys who really do like curate that show, and it shows. It's cool. I prefer it that way, but I'm sure if I were one of the guys that had like 30,000 books, I'd prefer it the other way.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so I get both. All
yeah.
right, and that kind of brings us to the next question, and it's called the vault. Let's talk about your PC. What do you actually chase for yourself, and what's maybe the book you have that you don't plan on letting go of?
Oof. Those are tough questions, and I hope I don't get answers. So I'm sort of in business ramp up mode, like trying to like I guess build maybe not a brand, but like build my inventory and build my store, and I sell a lot on eBay as well.
Yeah,
Um, but I haven't been holding on to a lot of books. And sometimes it makes me feel like a sellout, but it doesn't mean I won't. Um, um, so I guess there's two ways to answer it. One, every book that I have that I really like, I sometimes will keep it. I'll have it for sale, sometimes priced at maybe a little above fair market value until I'm ready to let it go. And there's very few books that I've sold. I'm not a AF-15 kind of guy. That's not a book that I would work for me to sell. But I've had some decent books. Like I had a really nice ASM-3 and
yeah,
five white pages, and that I would have loved to keep it. But I did have it for 4 months. I did have it displayed for 4 months. And you know what? I woke up. I was like, all right, I think it's time to sell. And I didn't regret it. I didn't regret selling because you know what? There could come a time where I will get that again, and maybe I can get a nicer copy.
right.
Very few books that I can't get again. I'll tell you one book that I do regret selling is Spider-Man One Platinum. So being a '90s kid, we all love all '90s kids like McFarlane. We
Yeah,
all Spider-Man number one. So what's the best Spider-Man number one? It's
right, right.
the retail incentive of Platinum. Um, and I had a 9.6 that I sent out and that I got for a great price from actually Brickskull Comics, if you know Brickskull Comics.
Yeah, of course.
Person he gave me, he's like, "Oh, this is about a 9," and I got a 9.6. So I had that book for years until I decided to sell it. So that's my regret. But
Okay.
in the vault, I would say every book that I have for sale or higher prices in my vault for now. But I eventually want to start picking up some Neil Adams Batman, some high grade ASM Rogues Gallery kind of stuff. I'm in that process. But not quite there yet.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that's probably the case of most sellers, though, right? I mean, since you're a seller, you have to be willing to move the stuff. I mean, that's part of it. And I remember, I remember the three, I think, and the five. Um, and I think part of the way, because I know that like I was thinking about starting to flip more of my stuff because I've sold like all the stuff that I definitely don't want. I
Yeah,
haven't ever sold the stuff that's like I'd like it, but man, I could make some money off of it. But like it took me so long to get the GSX that I wanted because it's square bound, it's hard to find the right spine, and I can't afford a 9.0 or 9.8 or whatever for that. So I don't know. I would definitely sell it for a profit. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But um, I got it from a friend, and it took 4 or 5 months to. I mean, they're easy to find, but it took 4 or 5 months for me to find that one. So
right.
I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah,
All right, our next question is called crossover, and this is talking about your crossover moment when you went from being, maybe a kid or an adult who collected comics to saying, "Hey, I could sell these things."
oh yeah, absolutely.
When did you flip it? When did you go from buying them to look at or read and start selling?
A lot of people are gonna have the same exact answer. Is during COVID. Is during COVID when things started going crazy, and I've been collecting on and off. I had I didn't have any graded books, but I had a nice amount of raw books, like nothing crazy, no X-Men ones and stuff, but like
Yeah.
plenty of like the stuff that I really like the first Gambits, the first Mister Sinisters, the Secret War eights. I had a bunch of those, and then I remember my mom called me. She said, you have to get this stuff out of my attic." I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I inherited tubs of comics, not inherited
Oh,
not inherited from like a family, not like that, but I did work for this guy once in my early 20s. I'm 34 now, and I did some like house repair work, and he didn't want to pay me, so he ended up paying me in his son's collection. His son was older and moved away. It wasn't crazy. It was a 90s spec collection.
yeah.
Let me see what we got. And then like a lot of those spec books were actually, you know, I just remember there was a lot of X-Men 221s. I had like 25 copies, and
Right.
those were going for those. That wasn't a very expensive book until COVID, and they're going for $100 a pop, near mint, ungraded. So I said, "What am I doing? Like, I got to sell these." So that was it. It was just a little bit of boredom and a little bit of rediscovering that other collection that I haven't really went through in a long time, that I even forgot that I had.
Now, how did life as a firefighter change then? I guess it was normal for you guys.
Oh, it was crazy. It was so as a firefighter, you also do medicals and stuff. So like, especially with the first couple of weeks, we were doing like medicals and like Tyvek hazmat suits.
Oh,
Level
wow. Okay.
had like this was we had no like procedures on most people didn't. So like, it was tough. A lot of sick people, and a lot of us got COVID.
Right.
Um, so it was weird driving to work with empty roads because everything was closed, and then going to work and taking care of sick people, and then yeah, it was a crazy time. But yeah,
So, in New York, it's combined. You're a paramedic and a firefighter.
so um, sort of. So I'm an EMT, which is just below a paramedic. I know in a lot of other parts of the country you have to be a paramedic. A paramedic is like almost like a rolling doctor. Like you can like intubate. So we're EMT, so we don't have any ambulances. The ambulance company in my city is a third party private company, it's
Oh,
for-profit company, believe it or not. So, well, like if someone calls and say, "Oh, my chest hurts, I can't breathe well," we're like, there's 15 firehouses in like a medium-sized city, so we'll get to you in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and we're there to make sure you're going to be okay until the ambulance comes. So that's so during COVID, we were just seeing a lot of sick people, and then just
oh, wow. Okay.
tucking them away.
The ambulance services is government, but it's separate of the firefighters. Totally separate.
Totally separate. Yeah. They're just regular employees, so we would just kind of help out. We just assist in the middle.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah,
Uh, Sorry, go ahead.
COVID was just when I saw everything going crazy in price, I was like, oh, I got all this cool stuff to sell.
That's awesome. So you're sitting on like 25 Mr. Sinisters. I mean, you're right. It's kind of like when I had the Star Wars. It's not gonna make me a millionaire, but it's pretty cool to stumble onto.
I mean, things are expensive. It bridges the gap, It bridges the
Yeah.
gap in your finances.
All right, now this may be the hardest question. It's called pull list, and each week, many of us have a pull list at the comic book store, and we tell our LCS which books we want to grab so we don't miss out. But in this pull list, I'm describing Instagram. So if somebody's scrolling across Instagram on a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, and they get to the Gold Standard Collectibles show, why should they stay with you instead of scrolling to the next guy?
Why should they stay with me? I think they should stay with a gold standard.
You're like Gold Standard.
Gold standard comic underground and Kyle show. For a few reasons. One is I think it's going to be a good time. It's going to be real casual. So even if you're not buying, even if you're just listening in, I think you're gonna we're gonna talk about comics. We're gonna talk about grading. We're gonna talk about prices. I think you might learn something. You might laugh a little. And if you're there to buy, if you're there to pull something, I think I have pretty good prices. And the way I have pretty good prices is I don't pick up too many collections. Like I have picked up collections. It's just there's a lot of people who do the comic thing in Westchester, New York. So I'm not first to the party, I'll tell you that. So I haven't picked up a collection in a year. But what I do is I try to focus on those like bronze to copper age books that a lot of people like that I think are very popular now. The ASM 252s, the Secret War 8s, the Wolverine 1s, ASM 300s. So I buy those usually from other dealers or sellers for fair market value. But because I get them graded, and I usually shoot for a 9.8, that
Right.
changes the value of the book. So once we get this new value, so I'll show you an example. Something I have on display here, a book that I like to buy and sell a lot is New Mutants 98. You buy this book raw, a couple $100. I press it myself. I send it for grading. Now it has this new price, but even at that new price, I could afford to discount it lower than I think a lot of people. So I think that's why you stumble across my show, you should stay and probably, maybe get the cheapest New Mutants 98 9.8 that's on the market, which I think we've done. And
We've done it a few times, yeah. And I think the other thing that's unique about you is that, and you'll say it yourself, but that for the niche buyer who's looking for newsstands, you uniquely tend to have the cool key in a newsstand,
yeah,
which adds value. And Andrew's very upfront and honest about how this book is another $100 because it's newsstand, but if you don't care, it's not for you. But if you care about newsstand, this is a 9.8 newsstand.
yeah,
So I think that's different about you, and I think that chasing 9.8s is different about you too. Like a lot of people, I know you definitely like the ASM 3 was what, a 3, I think, or 4,
yeah,
I think. But I think that if you're wanting like high grade keys, and if you're wanting stuff that's in that range, anywhere from 100 to five, six, $700, your show is where I'm coming, because I can get in and get that and get out fast. I like the 90 minutes; feels like a nice little punch, right? It's in. Um, we've talked about rotating books a little more, but the fact that you come in and it's like, this is what I got. It almost feels like Andrew's show is like going to a con and walking up. There's the booth. You chat the guy up. You talk about sports and whatever. You grab a book and you stay for the conversation. It's a fun show. I look forward to it every single time. That's
same.
why I've strangle holded your show every time we're dealing out assignments. I'm like, that one's mine
Yeah.
every time. So yeah, no, that's great. That's a good pitch. I like it. All right, our last one is called the lightning round, and this is just like an old game show. It's all quick hits, no thinking. Answer as quickly as you can. And if there's anything that requires a response, we'll deal with it. But I'm really curious about a couple of these.
All right, see
Are you ready?
what we got.
All right. First one, slabs or rolls?
Labs. Come on,
Okay.
man.
Yeah. So what's funny though is if you're buying them, you're looking for rolls.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If you're selling slabs, that's right. All
I,
right. Marvel or DC?
Marvel, but I do love Batman, but just Batman.
That's me. Character that needs a solo series.
that has never gotten one.
Well, I mean,
All right.
like if you were to say Gambit, I wouldn't be mad because he's had one, but he never
Yeah.
seems to keep one long.
You know what? I'm gonna say Iceman.
All right.
Iceman's an old X-Men. He's an old mutant, but I think he's way underutilized. I think he's super powerful, and there's been a few X-Men stories. There's been a few stories that have utilized him, so I would like to see some more Iceman.
I would too. That's nice. I like that one.
Yeah, I think he's very.
One book you'll never. I've already asked you this a little bit, so maybe I'll pass. Let's try it. One book you'll never sell. Maybe you don't even have it yet, but once you got it, it wouldn't go on the wall.
Okay, so I think that next, and this will happen. I think maybe in 2026, maybe 2027, is a high grade Batman 227. High grade, it's going to be in a 9
Oh
plus.
God, okay.
I'm going to get that. It's not. I can't sell that.
No. Yeah, I'm stuck on X-Men all the time, but that 227, I'm definitely falling for that. That and Silver Surfer 1 and 4.
Yep.
For some reason. Most overrated key. Like everybody seems to want it and talk about it, and you're just kind of like, whatever, it's fine.
Most overrated
key. Overrated book.
But no one's gonna. People are not gonna like this answer, but ASM 300.
Oh, so that's what the most sold book, right?
Yeah.
I think it is month after month the most sold book.
I love the list. I love like the sales list, the percent, the percent change lists, all those kind of things. It's always on there, and I like the book because I like McFarlane, but I think it's over. I think Venom's overrated in general. I
So, well, you're safe because last show with White Oak we talked about Invincible. So,
okay.
well, I think that's what they said was the most overrated. But my argument is this. This is my Michael Jordan argument too. I said that with White Oak. When you rate something so high, nothing's that good. Like I like Jordan, but you would think he was God on earth. Nobody's that good.
You think he averaged 100 points a game?
Right. And so that's overrated book. How about underrated character?
Most underrated character.
Doesn't get enough love.
I think, I know, and even though he's drawn a lot of interest since the show, like the more I read about him, and I haven't read I haven't had read a story about him too frequently, but I think Moon Knight is very underrated. I think he's very interesting. I think they can go a lot of directions with him.
I do too, and he's one. That's a great answer because he's one who has had a bunch of series. There's only been a couple that have really hit, and it was probably the Platt in the 90s, and then the Lemire run with where he has Mr. Knight, the suit and all.
Yeah.
But these last couple of series he's had has been kind of
Yeah.
All right, and then last question is: what is the book you're currently hunting that you're having trouble finding?
Book that I'm currently hunting that I have trouble finding. There's a lot of them. Let me think. I think it's so. There's a lot of books that I'm like that I'll do a little eBay search for that I pop in a show or I do go to a monthly local show almost every month, or maybe they have it every month. Maybe I go every other month. And this is kind of contrary to my most overrated book, but I'm actually looking for an ASM 300 newsstand and a perfect copy, a 9. I know that's the 9.8 pinnacle, the ASM 300, because if you look at the value difference between a 9.8 direct, which I have, and a 9.8 newsstand, it is 5-6 times. So every time high grade newsstand, in an auction, I'm always looking. I'm zooming into the picture. I'm looking at the black spine. I'm like, is there a spine tick? Is that a shadow? So I've been hunting a high stand for a few years. I've only gotten up to a 9.4 and a ASM 300 newsstand, even though I think Venom is an overrated character. Isn't that funny?
I love it. The hot takes here at the end. Well, that's a wrap up. That's going to be our second episode of See You Legends. And make sure you're following the Comic Underground IG. and check out our profile each Sunday for your schedule of shows for the week. We are your positive comic community. Thanks so much, man.
Check them out. Thank you so much, Kyle.
See you, dude.